I usually don't do this sort of thing. It's really not my speed. Okay, there's a lot of other people going to call people names and stuff like that on YouTube and say how, this guy's washed up, that guy's washed up, this guy's completely full of crap. I normally don't do that. But there's somebody out there that needs an intervention, and I'm about to give it to them. Not because I know the guy, not because I really care about the guy, because I never met him. I do respect his fishing career. He was a good middle-of-the-road pro for a while. Can't take that away from him. He's gone further in fishing than me and just about any of my viewers have gone, so that's not what this is about. But who this is about is Randy Blaukat. That's right. Randy recently put out a video on Bassmaster Classic and how he's not going to watch it because there's no name recognition. He said, and I want to close to quote it, that there were only so many people's names who he even had heard, let alone, really knew of. And he compared it to baseball when he was a kid. Pete Rose, George Foster. I could do the same thing. I grew up in Philadelphia. We had Mike Schmidt, Greg Lazinski, Dave Cash. They're gone. Randy, they're gone. He said that he knew virtually everybody on the pro circuit when he fished. Well, he better, because there was only a certain amount of guys and they all fished the same tournaments. But Randy, they're gone. They've aged out. Aged out. They're gone. That's right. No more Denny Brower. No more George Cochran. No more Rick Clunn. No more Tommy Martin. The list goes on and on. No Roland. No Gary Klein. They're not there anymore. Okay? Gary's over in MLF. But the thing is, you have to understand, Randy, that a lot of these guys were around the same age class. And yeah, I know you have a grudge against these new guys that are just showing up, but you got to face it. You're an enabler. You put information out on YouTube. Where do you think all these young guys are learning it from? When you were young, and when I was young, and we're somewhere around the same age, we had to fish with somebody that was a better angler than we were to learn. Or we had to have a mentor. Or we spent a ton of time out on the water. Now all the information is at the tip of your fingers. And here's something I really want you to think about. Competitive fishing is much more competitive now than it ever was. That's right. It's more competitive now. It's harder for these pros to cash a check because the playing field is much more level. Now, you can call it a cheater box or whatever you want, but they all have the ability to have it. If you choose not to use it, well, that's on you. You can't blame a poor finish on somebody else following the rules. Now, if the rules change and they're still using a cheater box, well, they're cheating. But I want you to remember back to a time when you did some stuff that was not so cool. That's right. When you basically sunk your boat on Kerr Reservoir to get under a bridge. Now, it was smart. It wasn't breaking a rule, but it's not something that would fall under the safe boating clause, would it? Again, it didn't break a rule, but you certainly stretched it, and probably wasn't something that you would recommend to other people, but you did it. And remember the time that you changed the flow in that creek to access a place. Basically dug out a new creek channel. And from what I heard, flooded a farmer's field. Was that right? I mean, it was within the rules, but you were pushing it. No different than people are pushing technology right now. So let's think about it. Remember when that new whippersnapper Kevin Van Dam showed up? Did you complain? That other whippersnapper, Ike Ellie. No complaint. Nothing. Why? Because the age factor was that all the guys that you fished with were still in their prime. They had to work their way up the ladder. Information wasn't as easy to come by. Now it is. The game has changed, whether you like it or not. And just as I should respect, that's right, respect your tournament career, you need to respect some of these young guys. Because you know what? They can fish. There's some of them that have been fishing with pros since they were pre-teens. I can think of Trey McKinney. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, yeah, you know, he's a live scope kid. Well, when he was 12, he was fishing with Andy Morgan. How's that for a mentor? So, really, when it comes down to it, you saying, I'm not going to watch the Bassmaster Classic and I'm just going to take my ball and go home, it's not a good look. It's not. Especially for an industry that supported you and still supports your family to this day. And you're not going to watch. I think you need to rethink it. I really do. And I hope you see this, because I'd like to hear from you.